One of the league's top teams comes to town looking to snap Edmonton's 9-game home winning streak. We get you set for the Oilers and the Bruins on the Oil Stream pregame show. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Oil Stream pregame show. Tom Gazzola live on location at Hudsons, West Edmonton Mall on Bourbon Street. And it is wing night. I can smell the wings. I'm already sweating from how hot they are. And good luck to all the competitors because this thing is going to get nasty, apparently. So we're live on location at Hudson's, West Edmonton Mall on Bourbon Street. Come on down. I've got 1 million coupons to give away and GCs. Just say hi, and you can't miss us. We're right at the front door. People are asking me where to go sit. I don't know. Go find your seat. I'm here to do a show. You can text us 780-218-9999. And if you're watching on YouTube, as always, get at us in a nasty chat. We have a loaded show for you today. We do have Derek Van Diest from NHL.com who will be joining us in about 5 minutes or even earlier than that. And then Ben Scrivens will be our analyst as well for the night, in for Matty Cassian, and Belzy and Gage are also busy. So we've got DVD and Ben Scrivens providing insight and analysis. We'll also do a little bit of Bruins prep, and we'll get to Eric Russo, who I had a chance to catch up with earlier in the day. We had a Rink Report. If you didn't catch it, Eric, Bruins TV reporter, and he will give us the scoop on these Boston Bruins that have just one win in the last 5 games, 4-4-2 in their last 10. Still one of the top teams in the National Hockey League, second best in the Eastern Conference. No Bergeron, no problem. No Taylor Hall, no problem. All those guys retiring, moving on. David Krejci was another one who came back last season in that historic season for the Boston Bruins. He's gone as well, but they still have Pasternak. They still have Marchand. They still have McAvoy. They've got 2 pillars in net in Swayman and Ullmark. Ullmark is the goalie we're anticipating will be in action tonight, and that's why the Bruins are cruising. You'll hear Eric's take on why Boston has continued to be so solid, even though they lost so many pieces in the offseason. All right, Edmonton 33-18-1, Boston 33-12-1. Question of the night. I will ask you this. Hit us up via the text line or get at us in the nasty chat. How do you think Edmonton will do on this 5-game homestand? They get Boston, Minnesota, Calgary, LA, and St. Louis. So let us know your thoughts. How will Edmonton do on this 5-game homestand? Text us 780-218-9999 or get at us in the nasty chat. It is the question of the night. All right, we're going to get into starting goalies, and then we're going to get Derek Van Diest on here from NHL.com. Zach to come holding things down back at EST Global HQ. I saw Fergie's prostate as well as Lieutenant Eric here on location. Matthew Iwanek is here to come by, say hi. It is Wing Challenge night. They have 6 o'clocker lager also. They brought in 6 o'clocker lager, which is great. Big thank you to Steve and Adam and Colby and Amy and the crew here at Hudson's Bourbon Street. Great partnership that we're doing with Hudson's, Canada's pub. We were on location at White Avenue. Big thank you to Connor over there. And then today we are here at the West Edmonton Mall location, and we have a watch party on Friday that we want you to join in and be a part of the fun. We'll have the entire crew here for that one on Friday. Okay. Little tweaks to the Oilers lineup. If Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who is under the weather, can't go, he did not skate today. So here are the lines from the morning skate. Connor McDavid between Warren Foegele and Zach Hyman. You had Leon Draisaitl centering Evander Kane and Ryan McLeod. And then Dylan Holloway slid into center between Matthias Janmark and Corey Perry. And a fourth line with Derek Ryan, Sam Gagner, and Connor Brown, who did get healthy scratched last game in Arizona. On defense, no changes. Nurse with CC, Ekholm with Bouchard, Kulak with Desharnais, and then if Nugent-Hopkins, who is TBD, is out, it is due to illness. Here's what we're anticipating from the Bruins tonight. Pavel Zacha between Jake DeBrusk and David Pasternak. Charlie Coyle with Brad Marchand and Danton Heinen on his wings. Morgan Geekie between James Van Riemsdyk and Anthony Richard. And you've got Jesper Boqvist with Trent Frederick and Justin Brazeau. On defense for the Bruins, Matt Grzelcyk with Charlie McAvoy, Mason Lohrei with Brandon Carlo, and then Derek Forbert, the veteran, with Parker Witherspoon out for the Bruins. Matthew Poitras with an IR situation there. He's on the IR due to a shoulder injury. And Jacob Lauko, day-to-day upper body. He got into a great fight the other night. Poitras is how I should say it, not Poitras. That's terrible. In goal tonight, Stuart Skinner for the Oilers, a 25-year-old, 25-12-1 on the season. 257 goals against average, 906 save percentage, 2 shutouts in 39 games this year. 1-2 record Skinner has with a 270 goals against average, 907 save percentage, 3 career games versus the Boston Bruins. And then at the other end of the rink, we're anticipating 30-year-old Linus Ullmark, 16-6-4, 272 GAA, 914 save percentage, 1 shutout in 27 games. Ullmark versus the Oilers, a 3-2 record, 3.23 GAA, 893 save percentage in 6 games over the course of his career against Edmonton. All right, he's been sitting there patiently. He needs to get to the game at some point. It is Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. Hello, DVD. How you doing tonight, pal?
Good, Tom. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Usually you join me on location. You've got to work the game. I'm here at West Edmonton Mall. I'll be here all night long. But you also joined me on the White Ave location. You were there at our old location last year as well. We like to have fun, as you know, DVD.
Yeah, you do. It's a good spot. I haven't been to the Hudsons on West Edmonton Mall in a while. So, if you do a road game there, I'll have to come check it out with you.
We will be doing road games here.
Yeah. So I'll have to come hang out with you one day.
We'll definitely.
The team's on the road. We're doing a game from the road.
We'll definitely do that, pal. Okay. We'll get to Game Changers now with Derek Van Diest, brought to you by Damon Bunting RE/MAX Elite. Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among RE/MAX realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven. Damon understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Number 1 tonight, DVD for the Oilers. PK woes, man. 10 of 20 in the last 6 games. What the heck is going on? What needs to improve with the penalty kill?
Yeah, you know what? They're to me, they're not being aggressive enough, and they're not creating. When they get opportunities to clear the puck, they're not able to do it. I think on a good PK, get a chance to clear a puck, it's gone. If you have to do it 2 or 3 times, if you got to win 2 or 3 puck battles in your own zone and you're not able to clear the zone, that's when you're going to get in trouble on the penalty kill. And I see that with the Oilers right now. They're winning some puck battles, but when they have an opportunity to clear the zone, they're not doing it. And I think that's so kind of demoralizing when you have that opportunity and you can't get it off the glass and out, or you can't get it past that defenseman at the blue line. That really hurts you, because now you got to reset and you start all over again. You got to win more puck battles in front, more puck battles in the corner. And I just think they got to be a bit more aggressive. And I think at times too, you got to be aggressive and you got to know when to go and when not to go, when kind of cut your losses. And I think that's another thing too, is early on the Oilers were getting a lot of shorthanded chances, and they figured, hey, we can just keep doing this all day, all right. Season. No, if it's not going well, if you just get the puck out, get off the ice, let the other unit come in, you really have to simplify things. And I think that's what they got to do right now, is just simplify that penalty kill and make the most of those opportunities to clear the zone. Because if you have to do it 2 or 3 times, that's when you end up getting burnt. And that's what I see right now with the Oilers, is they're not clearing the zone at the first opportunity. And they got to win a few more faceoffs in their own zone as well, because that really hurts you. When you lose the draw, then you're stuck in that zone for, 30, 45 seconds, as opposed to winning it, throwing it down the ice, and you've taken 25 seconds off the power play.
Hey, DVD, and listen, I'm kind of like chuckling to myself here, thinking I'm going to ask him this, but Connor Brown coming back into the lineup, does he help the PK?
He does. He's a good penalty killer. And it's a good thing that he is a good penalty killer, because he's not doing much of anything else right now. And you look at his season, and you look at some of the opportunities that he's missed, and you're like, are you kidding me? Like, you missed wide open nets. You missed, just those are the chances that he's not scoring on. And the one time he did put the puck in the net, the goal got called back. I can't remember if it was an offside or a goaltender interference.
Goalie interference, Evander Kane.
That's where it was. So,
yeah.
He's not having any luck around the net. But he's not helping himself. I just think he's missing a lot of grade A scoring opportunities. But he will help the penalty kill. And if he can help you on the penalty kill, you took him out of the lineup, your penalty kill struggle. If he can help you on the PK, then at least you're contributing in some way. I think you need that. You need to do something to help the team, and that's what he's doing. He's contributing in that way. Offensively, he's got nothing going for him right now. He has no confidence, no hands, nothing. So, it's one of those old things. If he gets a breakaway, he just might as well just dump the puck in the corner, save everyone the aggravation, because it's just not going for him right now. But, you hope something goes in. Eventually, something's got to go in off your backside or off yourself or something. Yeah. If you go to the net, eventually something's got to go in, because you know what? We're getting into territory here where he could end up the season with a big bagel. And can you imagine that? Then they still got $3 million next year to pay for that.
Wannick calls it a $3.25 million penalty. Wannick is here on location at Hudsons, Bourbon Street in West Edmonton Mall, and he's not wrong. He is not wrong. It is a $3.25 million penalty, and too much of a sweetheart deal for Connor Brown, who's just got 4 assists thus far this season. And yeah, DVD, I would highly encourage him not to dump it in the corner on a breakaway, but your point is well received. I get it 100%. Derek Van Diest in as our game analyst tonight. It is Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunting Remax Elite. Number 1 was PK Woes. Number 2, winging it, DVD. We got Ryan McLeod up on the wing, second line with Kane and Draisaitl. How much do you like this, and how long do you think this runs?
I do like it just because I think he can utilize his speed on the wing. I think he's a good skater, and he can get up and down the wing really well. And when you're playing with a guy like Draisaitl, just give him the puck, go to the net, find yourself open space. Draisaitl likes to carry the puck. He likes to hold on to it. So if he has the puck, you got to find that space. You got to find those little pockets. And I think he's good at doing that. I think he's got good hands. I think he's got good wheels. And I think on the outside, you could utilize the speed a little more than maybe you can up the middle. So I think it's a matter of, he's a good player when he plays with good players. If he complements good players and talented players very well, in my opinion, because he can play with them, and he has good hockey sense, and he knows where to go on the ice, and he knows where to be, and he knows how to get open. So when you play with a guy like Draisaitl, who can hold on to the puck, and wait till you get open, that's a guy he can find those spaces, and he's shown a tendency to be able to finish, and I think that's what he needs. When he gets a chance to play in your top 6, you have to make the most of it. I think he's an effective checking center as well. I think he's effective in the bottom 6, but I think he's a guy that you can move up, and if you play with talented players, he's going to be successful. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does here. He's a smart enough guy. Get the puck, give it to Leon Draisaitl, and then just go up the ice and find some spots, and I think he'll do well there. And he's also a guy that's really good in transition. When the puck gets turned over, he's a guy that can get up the ice really quickly. So I think he'll have some success there. It'll be interesting to see how he does with Draisaitl and Kane.
How about Foegele with Hyman and McDavid? What do you see there?
Well, I think Foegele complements those two as well. He's another guy I think he can skate really well, and I think he's a guy that's going to have to dig pucks out of the corner. He's a guy that's going to have to retrieve pucks. Give the puck to McDavid. Hyman's going to the front of the net, and McDavid does what McDavid does. So you're the guy that's going to have to win puck battles in the corner. You're the guy that's going to have to, intercept passes. You're the guy that's going to have to do that kind of dirty work that you need on the line. Hyman does a lot of that work as well. He does a lot of work, but, it's a guy. You need someone to retrieve the puck for Connor McDavid, and Warren Foegele can do that. The same thing. Get the puck, give it to McDavid, go find yourself some open ice, and find some space, because he will find you. And you know where Hyman's going to be. Hyman's going straight to the front of the net. So you have a lot of ice to work with if you're Warren Foegele, because you have, the greatest offensive player in the game right now, and to get an opportunity to play with him, just get open and get ready for the passes. And he's another guy that's also shown a good tenacity to finish opportunities when he gets them.
It is Game Changers. Derek Van Diest in for Matt Cassian tonight. Number 1 was PK Woes. Number 2, winging it. There's going to be a hot wing challenge here at Hudson's, Bourbon Street right away. I'm sweating already. Seriously, I'm not kidding, because I can already smell the wings. The judges, they're coming by. Hi, ladies. I am not taking part in tonight's hot wing challenge. Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you. All right, I'll take a look at this. If you need it back, let me know. All right, come on down, Hudson's West Edmonton Mall, and they have the wing challenge. Very nice, ladies. DVD. I think you would do okay. I've seen you take down some gnarly wings. Not as good as our pal Mark Ciampa, who's now with the New Jersey Devils. Ciampa, remember he did the wing challenge in Minnesota at what is that place in Mini? That it was on. It was on Adam Man versus Food. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, it was some sort of diner. Yeah, he did the challenge, and his face turned all red. I thought his head was going to explode.
My goodness. Yeah, so they gave me, I don't know what I have to do with this, but I think it's they have Ryder on location as well. You know Ryder from Elks games and from the radio on the FM side. Okay, number 1 was PK Woes. Number 2, Winging It. Number 3, we're talking about food. How about home cooking DVD? The Oilers have rattled off 8 straight home wins. Obviously, that goes back to the 16-game winning streak. But they get a Boston team that's not really playing at its best. So an opportunity to make it 9 in a row. How important is it to take advantage of being at home? And feels like we haven't seen a home game in forever, even though they were back last week. But Jamie Cartmel from the Oilers today was like, that was basically a 7-game road trip, even though we had to come home for one.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. They have a really good opportunity here to try and make up some ground in the division. But it's not an easy schedule, though. They got some tough teams coming in here, starting with the Bruins. They got a big game against Calgary. They got the Blues coming in here. Minnesota's coming in here. So they got some tough teams coming in here. But I think it'll be good to kind of get into a rhythm. They play every other night. They have the back-to-back on the Saturday with Calgary, I think. But I think it's a good opportunity to really kind of solidify themselves and gain some traction here. I think they've been going up and down a little bit in the last little while. Once that streak came to an end, I think it was a relief, to be honest, to some of those guys. There's a lot of pressure on that streak. But I think now they want to kind of get some traction going again, get another streak going again. And I think they have a really good opportunity here at home. They've played well at home for the most part. There's been some games that they haven't played well in stretches, and then they've kind of turned it on in the third period. We saw that game. Detroit was kind of like that. They didn't play well. 3-3 going in the third period, and then McDavid kind of decided, hey, I'm not going to lose to these guys, and took over in the third period. So they've done that. I don't think they've put a really good, complete game at home together in a while, so this will be a good test for them. Boston is Boston. They're a good hockey team. They've been a great organization for a lot of years, no matter who they're kind of plugging in there. They're a good, solid hockey team. So this is going to be a good test and a good way to start this homestand. If they can come out and get a good victory here and beat the Bruins, that'll set up this homestand really nicely. But I think, they get an opportunity to get in a bit of a rhythm at home. I think that's a big thing for the Edmonton Oilers right now.
Well, that leads right into the question of the night. I want to throw it out to our listeners and our viewers one more time. If you didn't catch it and you just joined the show, DVD, I want you to ask, or I want you to answer it, is how do you think Edmonton will do on this 5-game homestand? Boston, Minnesota, Calgary, LA Kings, St. Louis Blues. What say you, Derek Van Diest?
Well, I'd like, I think they have a chance to go 4-1 at least in this one. I know it's tough to sweep the homestand, but I think if they go 4-1 on this homestand, they'll be very happy with it. I think, they always talk about the process, just one game at a time. But I do think that, there's some teams coming in here that are pretty motivated. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that. But, you got games stacked on top of each other. And, it's like I said, the Oilers haven't put together a full 60-minute effort at home in a while. As far as I can remember, they've played well in spurts, but they've also played really poorly in spurts. But I think 4-1, they would be really happy. I can't see them sweeping the 5-game homestand. But I think if they play well, get the 4 wins, they'll be very happy heading off on that road trip just before the NHL trade deadline.
A DVD 4 wins would be great. I think a 3-win homestand is realistic. If they go 3-1-1 would be fantastic. A sweep would be wonderful for an Oilers fans' point of view. Pal, thank you as always. Always appreciate it. Enjoy the game, and hopefully we'll catch you here at Hudson's, either White Ave or Bourbon Street. So thanks, pal. Enjoy the game.
Sounds good. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
All right. That was Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. Trev and Renee are here. They're in the house. Hello, Renee. You've got your EST hat. Trev, you got your EST hat. Oh, baby. Look at this. What a reunion. And he's got his Heritage Classic jersey. Thanks for coming out, guys. Good to see you. The boys are over there, just on the other end, if you want to sit with them. Fergie's there, too. Yeah. There you go. See, it's like a little family, EST. We've created a little family, right, Zach, to come?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm just holding the fort back here. I'm not wearing any other merch besides EST merch right now.
Yeah.
If I can
Good.
send this over.
That's
I
nice.
got the EST shirt. I'm rocking that. You know what? Everyone's down there. I might have to make my way down there after the pregame show here.
Come on down, pal. It's not too far away from our global HQ. So the vibe is actually pretty good. Like, they're sending people to the back room. This wing challenge, it's a Thursday. People are pumped up. And I'm seeing like more and more people being like, I'm ready to take on the wing challenge. Good luck. Like, good luck. I don't know if Trev told you the story, but he did a wing challenge and it messed up his stomach for like a couple of months. So
No.
I don't know how some guys do it. It's incredible. Good on you. But there's some competitors making their way down to take part in the wing challenge. They've also got 6 o'clocker lager in can form, obviously, here at Hudson's on Bourbon Street. So if you ask for some 6 o'clocker lager, they will hook you up, and then like food specials and all that good stuff, as is tradition. And if you come see me, I'll hook you up with some GCs. I've got GCs to give away. I'll be dishing those out all night long. I'll be here all night long. Lieutenant Eric is here. Fergie's Prostate's here. Trev and Renee from Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge are here, and then Awanik as well. So a bunch of people showing up, people saying hi, and I'll hook you up with some GCs if you want to make your way down here. 780-218-9999 if you want to text us, and then get at us in the nasty chat. Let's get to some texts really quickly. Ben Scrivens coming up at 7:15. He will be our analyst on the post-game show as well, so we will touch base with Ben. Let's see what we got here. I've seen some text from the oil stream earlier in the evening. It's Wednesday. Thank you, Joel. Thank you. I thought it was Thursday. I'm losing track of my days, these short weeks. All right, let's go to Norman at Combine. Norman at Combine says, come on, Tom, have the wings. Looking good tonight. Oilers need a full 60 minutes. Have a great night. We'll be coming down Friday night. Norman at Combine. P.S. These smoked pork ribs are delicious. Norman at Combine also anticipates the Oilers going 3-1-1. Good for 7 points on this 5-game homestand. Then we got the Wolf. Oh, says, will there be a wing challenge next Wednesday? The Wolf loves wing challenges. This is the first time I've heard of this. I don't know. I'll have to ask Steve, who's the manager here, and he'll let me know. This is a new partnership that we just started last week with Hudson's, Canada's Pup, and they've been awesome. So the vibes are going to be good, and hopefully you guys can come down and check it out and enjoy some of the specials, take part in the fun, and again, 6 o'clocker lager, can form. They've got it here. They're nice enough to pick some up and sell it. And then I've got a million GCs that I have to give away. So if you come by, say hi. We'll hook you up, buy you a beer or two. Maybe dig into your bill overall. Hello, Awanik. Is everything good? Everything's good, Awanik says. This one from Calgary Glenn says, Tommy, does that mean you won't be watching the games at Rogers since you'll be on location? We're only doing a few of these a month, predominantly road games. We had to squeeze in a couple during this homestand, but the majority will be road games. So that is more ideal. I get a chance to be down at the rink. I'm not going to drive down to from West Edmonton Mall to the arena tonight. Plus, we have a good crew, and we're just starting this thing off. So we'll be here. But Calgary Glen, I will be back at the arena Saturday because we're doing a watch party here on Friday. All right, let's see what's going on with the nasty chat. Zedmo, no thank you. I'm good. I appreciate that. I'm good in that regard. This one, Box Pounder says, I'd pay money for Tommy to do the post-game show completely hammered. I will not do that. I will enjoy a beverage or two, though, and I'm looking forward to eating some food. I'm starving. It's been a fun day. It's been a long day, and the food here has been great, as is tradition. Nate says, I can't wait to tune into Friday's postgame after the watch party. What? Oh, yeah, I'll get you some. Yeah. Give me a sec. No, all good. Trev, give me 2 seconds. Let me throw to the Rink Report with Eric Russo from Bruins TV. And in the meantime, I'm going to hook Renee and Trev up. See, they just came by and they said hi. They're getting GCs. So let's go to the Rink Report with Eric Russo. It's the EST Rink Report as the Oilers welcome in the Boston Bruins. We welcome in Eric Russo, Bruins reporter, covering the team for many years. We go way back. Many years. Welcome back to town, Eric. Listen, this Bruins team rolling again this year. Give us the synopsis of this group, which lost a lot of key guys in the offseason.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been another great year. I don't know how many people on the outside really expected that, but this team has had that culture for so long that Brad Marchand now carries on, and I think that's really the big piece of this to think about, is that Brad Marchand for years had Zdeno Chara, Patrice Bergeron, Mark Recchi, all those guys, and he wants to carry that legacy forward. He doesn't want to disappoint those guys now that they're gone. He wants to make sure that the Bruins tradition is moved forward, and he's done a great job with that this year and this team. And I think that's a big reason for the success that they've been able to have despite the losses of Bergeron and Krejci in particular.
Marchand, Pasternak, people here appreciate Louis DeBrusk's son Jake, obviously, and then a couple of really good goaltenders, some solid D, but who are some of the other guys that maybe people in Edmonton wouldn't know about actually contributing, helping this team have the success that it's having?
Yeah, there's been a lot of those unsung heroes. In Boston, we have the 7th Player Award, and there's a lot of candidates this year for that. You have Trent Frederick, you have Morgan Geekie, who came in this year as a new player. James Van Riemsdyk, who's been around for many years, has had a great year. Kevin Shattenkirk is a veteran player. He's been a little bit in and out of the lineup recently, but he has contributed. So there's been a lot of those guys that have come in, sort of veteran players that have contributed to the core group that has existed for years. And Charlie Coyle's another one that we should mention. He moved into that top line center role that people questioned for years when maybe Bergie and Kretsch were out of the lineup with injury. It didn't really fit, but this year he's taken a huge step to play with Marshy on the left side, and sometimes Pasta's up there, sometimes it's been DeBrusk, but he has really elevated his game, and that's made a big difference as well.
Okay, so we're talking about overall the team's doing great at the top of the standings after a historic season, but lately a bit of a lull, a dip, I don't know how you want to describe it. Lost to Seattle last week, lost to LA, win in Dallas, that's good, right, if you're a Bruins fan. What's been going on in the last 10 here?
Well, it's interesting, right? I think a little dip like this over a couple of weeks is normal for most teams, but at the rate that the Bruins won last year and to start this year, it's kind of like, whoa, what's going on? But, I mean, there's a couple different things that have happened, particularly special teams hasn't been as good, so when the power play's not clicking, the penalty kill's not clicking, those are things that can elevate you at different times throughout the year, and they haven't really. So you're kind of seeing that bring the Bruins back down a little bit, but it's also the grind of the season, right? And every team that's playing the Bruins is coming in knowing they're playing one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the league, and they're elevating their game, which the Bruins have to adjust to. And that's a difficult thing to do when teams are desperate at this time of the year for playoff spots.
They're on the ice behind us right now. I know you took a quick peek before we started the Rink Report, but what do you anticipate lineup-wise? Is it too soon to tell? Is there some smoke and mirrors that, we used to see smoke and mirrors here in Edmonton, but what are you anticipating tonight, Eric?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Hampus Lindholm got hurt in the last game, so we'll see if he's in there tonight. We don't see him out here right now. So that's really the big question mark on the back end. Mason Lohrei, who's a great young prospect for the Bruins, who has had some good stints with the team this year, is up. So we'll see if he gets in there tonight. But for the most part, should be the same. Up front, there's been a couple of new guys in the bottom 6 for the Bruins over the last couple of days. Justin Brazeau was signed from Providence. He had been on an AHL deal, came up, made his NHL debut against Dallas on Monday, scored a goal. Nice. So we should expect to see him back in there tonight. And a couple of guys that were in the AHL to start the year, Jesper Boquist, who was with New Jersey last year, and Anthony Richard has come up. So there's been guys in and out of the lineup coming up from Providence that have contributed as well, and you can expect to see those guys in there tonight.
Organizational depth is a key thing. Okay, take away Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Is every team strategy when they play the Oilers? If the Bruins are to have success on top of doing that, what else do they have to do tonight?
Well, I think, like I mentioned with special teams, I think they really want to get the power play back on track. They really want to get the penalty kill back on track, which is no easy task against a team with McDavid and Draisaitl. But I think this road trip for the Bruins with 4 games here, Calgary tomorrow night, Vancouver, who's had such a great year, Seattle. The Bruins lost to Seattle and Calgary at home last week, beat Vancouver, lost to Edmonton. So these are tough games for the Bruins, and I think they want to use it to sort of get back on track and get those special teams areas back on track as well.
Eric, always great stuff. Welcome back, pal. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, always good to be with you. Thanks for having me.
That is the EST Rink Report. Oilers and Bruins, we're on the air 6:30 p.m. Live on location at Hudsons, West Edmonton Mall. Yes, indeed. And here I am now live on location. They did the 5-minute warning for the wing challenge, and the ladies that are doing the officiating are in their ref uniforms. They're like, 5 minutes, Tom. I'm like, okay, 5 minutes. So you better hurry if you're coming down for the wing challenge. A lot of guys signing up. I haven't seen any. Maybe some ladies want to take part in it, but apparently these things get super, super hot. Also, they've got 6 o'clocker lager in can form available here at Hudson's West Edmonton Mall on Bourbon Street. We're going to be here all show long. We'll be here throughout the game as well. Obviously doing the post game here as well. So it's going to be a fun night down here at Hudson's Bourbon Street. All right, let's go inside the Oilers locker room. We will hear first from head coach Kris Knoblauch.
He was on the ice this morning. Just want to get an update on if he's ready to go tonight.
He's at home sick right now, questionable for the game. We've had this run through for a little bit, and other guys have got it. And like I said, it's questionable whether he's playing tonight.
And you guys are, I know you're tired of hearing about records that the team is close to, obviously with the 16-game winning streak, but you guys are only 2 off of the home winning streak for the Edmonton Oilers. So what is it about this crowd here that gets you guys playing at your top game lately?
Again, no idea until you said that about the streak at home. No idea. No talk about it. And I think a lot of teams feel the excitement of being at home. Obviously, it's the comfort of coming from your house, seeing your family. You're not traveling. That makes it a little bit easier. But playing in front of the fans here, the atmosphere just gives you a little more excitement. The adrenaline's flowing. It's so much nicer. Just having the support and the energy in the building, it just makes it easier to play.
Kris, what would you say about what you've seen out of Ryan McLeod when you move him to the wing, and in particular up with a couple of your high-skilled centers? No secret you guys are, you're looking for a fit in one of those spots. How do you think that McLeod is fit there and his potential to be a consistent top 6 contributor?
I think he's been a great addition to playing with Leon numerous times, whether it was when Fogel there or now with Kane. I think, he has a lot of confidence with the puck. He's making plays, but probably the biggest thing is he's able to create disturbances. He's able to get in on the forward check and create a turnover so we have offense zone possession. With his speed, things don't close on him where he doesn't have to dump and chase and get in on the forward check. He's able to, because of his speed, push the defenseman back, so then you've got offensive zone entry with possession. It just gives it a lot easier to play with for the team, but also, the line mates that he's out there with. So he's got a lot of good attributes to do play, and then also when he's with offensive guys, he's a pretty good checker. He's able to get back and break up plays on the back check. So he helps those guys in those situations also. In order to play him there, it opens up down the middle a little bit. You've been looking at Dylan Holloway. I know he played there a bit in the minors too. What would you say about Holloway at center so far and what you've seen? Well, I think the best game he's played, that first game when he came back from Bakersfield in Calgary, I thought he had a heck of a game. He created 2 unbelievable scoring chances. I remember he set up Brown, he set up Ceci that game. And that's kind of why we sent him down there. We thought he'd be mostly a left winger for this group, but with it's nice to have roster flexibility, moving guys around. And usually when you're moving guys around, you are vulnerable to having centermen. You need that depth. And when we're moving guys around, you look at our roster and McLeod's a good third-line centerman. But if we're trying to get some chemistry and whatever it is we're trying to do, you're moving guys around, moves Dylan to the middle, and it's nice to have him playing there. So overall, I think its sample size has been pretty small, but he's showed a lot of promise.
Morning, Kris. Evan Bouchard has a 4-game point streak, 9 points. His season has been remarkable offensively from the back end, but since you arrived in mid-November, how much have you seen him grow and flourish in the role he has with this team?
I've seen a lot from him. I don't know about him growing or flourishing, but obviously he's succeeding from what I've seen. Pretty much from when I got here, I've been impressed with him. He's been able to move the puck up really well. His defensive details are good. It's some reminders, keeping his feet moving, his feet are moving. He's able to check a lot better. And him and Eki have done a heck of a job on that aspect of it. And, we talk about offensive production. Well, he's able to get the puck to his line mates or whoever he's out there with. And then also he's got a pretty good shot from the point. And we talk a lot about the bomb, the big shot, the slap shot. But you see his goals, the majority of them are just little sifters, finding a little spot and having that nice wrister and putting it in. So, he's been obviously his numbers say a lot about how well he's playing, and sometimes numbers lie, but this one, it definitely doesn't.
So, Kris, if you say the numbers lie sometimes, for 33 games, your PK was 89%, and now for the last 7 since the All-Star break, it's struggled at just over 54. Was it maybe not as good as it was and not as bad, but what's been lacking lately, do you find, on your penalty kill?
It's been a lot of things. It's been, our forecheck getting caught up ice a little bit, but mostly it's in the defensive zone, just where our sticks are. And I think when we went into the break at the All-Star, for the All-Star break, I think that was one of the areas that it really hurt us. I think for our team play or 5-on-5 play, we had that momentum, winning 16 games in a row. We talked about, going into the break. I think for the team, I think the break was good for us. I think we needed it. But I think the one thing that really affected us was the penalty kill, the details about where our stick should be and where our positioning should be. And right now I just see so many of our sticks in the high lane instead of low lane. Defensemen stepping out, probably being a little too passive instead of getting out an extra 2 or 3 feet to get in the shooting lane. He's a little bit passive, which allows a shot. And all the goals have been very dissimilar. There hasn't been a pattern. There hasn't been a routine. We need to just get a little bit better in all our details.
When you see a team like Boston that you don't see very often, I know you'll see them twice in 2 weeks, but they come in, both their special teams are suddenly struggling where they haven't been for all year. Their power play is 8% in 11 games. Their penalty kill is 68%. Do you have time to focus in on a team like that, specific on the opposing special teams, the last few games they played, to see find or uncover a weakness?
Oh, absolutely. We do a lot of pre-scouting. That's mostly Gully and Stu will look at their areas, and then they'll present it to the rest of the coaching staff, and we'll talk about what they see and what they wanted to do, and yeah, they'll be looking at, they'll probably look at very in-depth, probably 5 games, and they'll probably go back even farther on the goal scored. So they definitely know what the routines are and what the opposition's looking for and where their weaknesses are, and as a group we try and exploit that.
Just piggybacking, Kris, off of Jason's comment on Boston, I mean, the last several years they've got a standard and an identity of how they play, and 5-on-5 they're really structured. Just a thought on that matchup, and maybe playing a game against an opponent where there might not be a lot of A-grade scoring opportunities at even strength.
Yes, and even when there are grade A scoring opportunities, they've got goaltenders that have been really, really good for them the last couple of years. And, there's no secret to their success. Obviously, their special teams are good. Their 5-on-5 play is very structured. And you look at the teams that have success for a long period of time, special teams, goaltending, and structured 5-on-5. So, I anticipate it's going to be a very similar game to what we saw in Dallas, a very structured game. There's very limited opportunities 5-on-5. What opportunities there were on the power plays for each team. So I think it'll be a very similar game to the Dallas. That's what I'm anticipating.
Well, it worked out pretty good for the Oilers in Dallas, a 4-3 victory in overtime. It is the Oil Stream pregame show live on location at Hudson's Bourbon Street where the wing challenge has begun, and it is at the next table over. There's about 14 competitors, one lady involved, and they just started. I'm sweating. I'm already sweating. I can't handle it. Let's bring in our next guest here. In for Matty Cassian is Ben Scrivens. Great to have him back on as an analyst. Ben, it would be awesome if you were on location. You got some things to take care of at home. We appreciate you coming on, but I don't know how you handle wings. I can smell spice, and I instantly start sweating. How are you with hot wings?
I love some spicy food. I would be right there in that. We did an event last year with the Oilers and some of the alumni, and it was essentially a hot wing challenge. I think there were some season ticket holders involved too, and the unfortunately Northern Chicken, a big shout out to them.
Yep.
But they announced recently, I think they're closing their doors, so I got to go back in there. But their WNFA sauce was, it's legendary. It's the hottest I've had in a long time. Kind of hands down the hottest one in that pack. But I like it. It's a fun experience for me. I started eating spicy food when I was a teenager, kind of around the house, and it's the people who love it. It's like people who run marathons, maybe. It's like, I can't tell you how much they like it.
It's like self-inflicted pain, man.
Yeah.
It feels like it. I'm looking at it.
Type 2 fun, they call it.
Type 2 fun. Okay, well, I'll take your word for it. I'll just enjoy you having fun doing something like that. And these people going all in. We just had a guy that came up to me. He's like, I love hot stuff. I want in. I'm like, well, you're late, but I commend all of those that are taking part in this. All right, Ben, we've got the Oilers and the Bruins, two really good teams. Edmonton, has been okay coming out of the All-Star break. It was the bye week plus the All-Star break. They got a win in Dallas. That's great. They get the win in Arizona. It wasn't perfect by any means, but they're riding a 16-game winning streak going into the break. How tricky is it as a player to come back and just hit the ground running after an extended break in the National Hockey League midseason?
Yeah, it always is a bit of a tricky dynamic. When I was playing, though, all of the All-Star breaks were aligned, right? So you didn't really have it as an excuse, because whoever you came back and faced in your first game back they were running the same challenges, right? Mm-hmm. So it doesn't do any good to make excuses. And truthfully, I don't think they're playing bad. What you have is a bit of a regression to the mean. You just had all the puck luck that they didn't have to start the season. They got in spades. They had a historic run, and nearly made history. And that's where they got all their bounces back. And now you're going to see the true Oiler team, which is probably win 2 out of 3, probably win 3 out of 4 down the stretch. And those are, the losses are going to come how they're going to come. Sometimes it's going to be bounces. Sometimes they're going to run into a hot goalie. Sometimes they're not going to deserve to win and they won't win. But, they're going to have some of these bounces that are kind of going against them as they get back into it. Tonight against Boston, it's a top team in the Eastern Conference, but they're in a bit of a tail slide as well. So there's pressure on both sides, and that's what makes all of these games exciting and fun. Is you got two solid teams with different motivations, and kind of just leave it all out there.
Ben, I think it's going to be a fun game. Personally, I think it's going to be a great test, like you mentioned, for the Oilers, but some things do need to get better, and we've had these second period lulls that we've witnessed with this Oilers team in the last 2 weeks since they came out of the All-Star break. That has frustrated some fans. Obviously, being from here, and Oiler fans like to pick away at it at the team's game, and understandably so. What, in your opinion, could lead to second period lulls that seem to be more consistent lately? Is it a mental thing as a collective unit, or how do you see that playing out?
Yeah, where there's a trend, there's probably an overarching theme. I would say that we're probably not quite in the extended period where you're going to be overly concerned. You never know how it works, right? I'm not thinking of any game in particular, but like a penalty kill or two in a row, stem some of the cycle pressure, stem some of the momentum that the team has. And then it takes a shift or two. The guys who have been sitting for 4 or 5 minutes don't get a lot of that penalty kill time, and they're thrust out. You're not probably going to be, your best shift of the game, but you got to be serviceable. You got to be manageable and defensively responsible. So I think again, you win 16 straight. If you think that you're going to win another you lose one and then win another 16 straight, you're just naive as this, a viewer of the game. You just don't quite understand it. I get that you want to be perfect and you want results as the fan and the group. And I think that's the frustrating part. It's like, we just watched you guys win as many as you did in a row. Like where are these like mental gas coming from? But like it's not to denigrate or to diminish. They had a slightly easy schedule among that. They had some big wins. They beat the LAs. They beat some top teams in that stretch.
Yep.
They also had Columbus a couple times. They also had Anaheim. There were a couple ones that they were expected to win and expected to win handily. So, it's just one of those things where they're coming out of a hot stretch, and they're still playing well. It's not like they lost 4 straight to come out. They kind of, bouncing back and forth. Again, I'll stick with the belief that they're a team that's going to win 2 out of 3. Maybe 4 or maybe 3 out of 4 the rest of the way. Will they catch Vancouver? Vancouver's going to have another slide, and they might. So it might be tight. I think that they'll overtake Vegas for second in the division. It's a big hole to climb back from for Vancouver. So I think they've got the games at hand to do it now, or it's going to be close. But again, now you're expecting them to win all 6 of their games at hand, which is like, again, you've already had a 16-gamer. Like, you can't just bank on endless wins. So they're going to need a little bit of help from Vancouver, sputtering, having a tough stretch as you get towards playoffs. But they got a chance at it.
I like the bold prediction, catching Vegas. That's good. I like that coming on here, spitting some fire like the Wings that were just inhaled by everybody. I think they're taking a break, and there's going to be another round. I don't know what the heck's going on, Ben, but Ben Scrivens, Tom Gazzola with you here on the Oil Stream pregame show. You can text us 780-218-9999. And if you're watching on the YouTube channel, which we just got to 7,000 subscribers, thank you everyone who has subscribed, and we continue to build it up, and that's great. So you can reach us in the nasty chat as well. Okay, so bold saying the Oilers might catch Vegas. I don't think that's out of I think it's something that we could see, Ben, honestly. And they played really well against the Golden Knights this year, albeit, a tough loss a couple of weeks ago, but they can bounce back from that and they get the Golden Knights a couple more times. So if they take advantage of these games in hand, it's certainly a possibility. One thing that has come up is, are they playing Stu Skinner too much? Should Calvin Pickard get more playing time? What are you seeing from Calvin Pickard? Because I think it's been pretty solid. The record is 7-2. He beat the Dallas Stars. And then from Stu Skinner point of view, like when you're watching him, Joaquin Gage made this comment when we were talking last week. He was in studio and he goes, I'm a little bit worried or concerned about Skinner because I think that he's playing quite a bit and his body language is kind of telling me that he might be a little bit tired, like mentally fatigued. I don't know. I was like, Gage, what are you talking about? Then they had a tough night in St. Louis. So the guy's 25 years old, putting together a pretty good season. When you're watching this goalie tandem, Ben, like, what are you seeing from these guys?
Yeah, I mean, Pix has done a great job of stopping the bleeding, being a part of the response to stop the bleeding from the start of the season. He brought in stability to that tandem, and as much as Jack Campbell had a tough start, and I mean, really a tough few months if you really pay attention to his time in the AHL as well, but he seems to have kind of figured some stuff out. So I think as you go down the stretch, you're definitely not going to see Campbell. I'm not the first one to say this stuff, but you're not going to see Campbell come back.
No.
But you are going to have all 3 of these guys for playoffs, and you obviously want Skinner to be ready, but you have the option now of Pickard or Campbell if there's any faltering, right?
Yeah.
I think that Dustin Schwartz, he's a goalie coach that I worked with. I have a ton of respect for him. I think he's a fantastic goalie coach. Undoubtedly, they're having these conversations with Stu. He has the mindset, I would imagine, that like they want to win in the playoffs, right? They don't want to. He doesn't want to put himself above the team and say like, I want to start more. I need more games, to have some of these personal accolades of being the starter and whatnot. So I think these conversations are going to come down to the staff. The technology now is far beyond what it was when I was playing, as far as the catapult systems and stuff and how they can measure workload. For sure they've got their finger on the pulse of how he's doing. There's still a lot of hockey left to be played. They're by no means, a lock for the playoffs yet. And Stuart Skinner is the best goalie they have. So it comes down to a little bit of that balancing act of, do you trust Pickard enough to put him in some spots where he's gonna, you're not coin tossing two valuable points, or are you gonna ride Skinner kind of all the way through? You kind of have it's an appropriate analogy, but what you had with Boston last year is you had a guy who won the Vezina and his backup is now the All-Star this year, right? They platooned pretty well. I want to say it was 55-45 as far as percentages, or maybe 60-40, something like that. Like they both got a lot of playing time, and Swayman last year really was instrumental in where they finished the season with that incredible record. Juxtapose that with a Connor Hellebuck who just plays massive minutes, who I think is the prototype for where you would hope Skinner to get to. Right. So I don't know. There is no right or wrong unless it's wrong, right? That's the challenge.
Touche. Yes, good point. Okay, this Boston Bruins team, they lost a bunch of guys in the offseason. Patrice Bergeron, who was there forever, obviously a legend, probably a Hall of Famer, certainly Bruins Hall of Famer. And, Taylor Hall was part of the team last year. I think they picked up Bertuzzi, if I'm not mistaken. They loaded up going into the postseason and faltered against Florida. But they're right back there, Ben. They're not having a historic regular season like they did last year. And you look at the lineup, and they have Pasternak. They still have Marchand. McAvoy is really good. DeBrusk has not had a great season. But what do you think it is about a team like the Bruins that has had some losses in terms of individuals that are huge contributors, but still maintain this high level of success? How does that happen?
Yeah, I think there's two pieces. I think you still have that continuation on of the culture that was brought in and really cemented by Zdeno Chara and his leadership group. How they built that up, Johnny Boychuk, local Edmonton guy, part of that culture build. Obviously the Bergerons, the Krejcis, the Marchands, right?
Yeah.
That culture now has continued on to the next group, the DeBrusks, the Lindholms, those types of guys. So with that like hardworking, detail-driven, process-oriented attitude from the team, you then put in a coach like Jim Montgomery, and it's kindling for the fire. He has won pretty much everywhere he's been. He won 2 national championships with Denver in the NCAA. I think it was 2, and set them up to win another one a couple years later under Dave Carl. So I can't say enough good things about Monty. I know him very briefly from my time playing. I used to work out in the summers down in Denver. Great guy. And his time in Dallas, obviously he has his documented personal troubles, but
sure,
he took his time away and he cleaned up his own house and did what he needed to do. But this is where Dallas was headed, right? He put Dallas in a spot to be dominant year over year, and he's just a fantastic coach. So I think it's that culture And I think it's, the coaching of Montgomery and the way that he brings out the best in players and teams.
Yeah, and last year was unbelievable, and then this year they're still right up there, and we'll see. I mean, the little dip lately, 1 win in the last 5, Ben, but we'll see if the Oilers can maybe take advantage. If you are the Oilers and you're looking at this game, what are you thinking are the keys to success overall?
Well, I'll just add one more point about Boston is they might. Do you remember when Tampa was knocked out and they were unbelievable in the regular season? Knocked out
Columbus.
Columbus.
Yeah.
And what did they come back and do the next year? They didn't have they didn't have the dominant regular season they did the year before, but they put their energy and their efforts into playoff success. So that's the fear if you're the rest of the league, is that they're kind of replicating what Tampa showed them how to do, right? A top seed first round exit, and you come back with a vengeance. So, yeah, for sure. If you're Edmonton, I mean, you heard Knobs there talking where it's special team structure, a little bit of goaltending, see who comes out on top. You need your best players to be the best players in big games. But it's also like a lot of times what you see in playoffs is your best players counteract their best players. They each get 2 goals for the line and 2 power play goals or whatever. And in a 3-2 league, or I guess it's starting to shift to a 4-3 league, it's who is that depth guy, right? Are you getting a goal from somebody on the back end other than number 2? Are you getting a chip in from the third or fourth lines? Who's going to be that difference maker down the lineup? And sometimes the difference maker is a big defensive play too. So it's a big game for everybody. As cliche as that sounds, but you're going to get the best out of the big dogs for Edmonton. Boston's going to bring good structure. They know how to bounce back in this, and it might come down to the depth guys and see who's able to contribute a little bit more.
Well, we'll find out in about 30 minutes or so. Ben, great stuff. We're going to get you on the post-game show. I wish you were down here with me. It's a really good time. Maybe next time we get you in the wing challenge.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll talk to you in a little bit, Ben. There you go. There's Ben Scrivens filling in for Matty Cassian as our analyst tonight. Great to have Ben back on the show. You can text us 780-218-9999, and you can get at us in the nasty chat. Let's go to the text line really quickly. We'll go back inside the Oilers locker room, and you heard Ben talking about Jim Montgomery. We'll probably hear from him in a little bit as well as we get you through to the puck drop, which is a little bit later. Been told 8:22 this evening instead of the old 8:08, 7:08, 8:22, a late one national game. That's why. Tube Socks texts in. Tube Socks says, I think the Oilers should back off in the second period just to prove to the haters that they can win consistently with only a 40-minute effort. And that is Tube Socks being 100% facetious. Thank you, Stephen, for the text. Appreciate it. This one from Donnie says, TG, wow, Ben's amazing. Best goalie analyst. Wow. Donnie, thank you for that. Ben is great. Articulates very well and sees things on different levels and can really sum it up in a nice way for those of us that don't think on the same plane as Ben. But yeah, he is a great analyst, as a guest analyst, and we like having him on. So I was like, Ben, we need a guy tonight, and he did a bang-up job, and he'll be great on the post-game show later on following the Bruins and the Oilers showdown. Rip City Step, what's up, Rip City Step? Says, so full suit, downtown, plaid on white, no tie on Bourbon Street, hashtag Tommy dress code. Yes, something like that, Rip City Step. And then Displaced Yukoner texts in, and Displaced Yukoner says 97 is due for a Hattie tonight. Keep those texts coming in. We're live on location at Hudsons on Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. They got the wing challenge going on. I saw a bunch of the competitors going outside for a sip of milk, and they're going to regroup and do things again. I've got 1 million GCs to give away. Steve from Hudson's on Bourbon Street just gave me a bunch more, so come on down, say hi, and I will hook you up. All right, let's go back inside the Oilers locker room. Who are we going to hear from now, Zach, to come?
Well, this guy throughout his career has had a wing challenge, but it doesn't seem like it's the same one. No chicken with that one. Shout out Ty Ratty
look
back
at
in the
you.
day. Let us hear from Captain Connor McDavid, the big dog himself.
Teams having an identity gets thrown around a lot in sports, as I'm sure you know. But when you look at the Bruins going back, certainly your time in the league and beyond, I mean, are they the perfect example of a team that year after year has an identity?
I would say so. I mean, obviously they've done such a good job year after year, just building a culture, a winning culture, and it shows. Obviously they lose a big part of their team in those two centermen, and they bring in guys and just continue rolling along. It's really, really impressive.
From the time you got back from the break, it was a little bit up and down. You put a couple wins together here. Do you feel like you're kind of getting close to more consistent hockey than what you've had since you come back? Results, I guess?
I think we're still looking for our game. I liked a lot of parts of our game in Dallas. We've had stretches of really good play, and we've had stretches of play not so good. I think last game kind of sums up, where our game's been at. Good first period, wonky second, and a really good third. We're looking for some consistency. No better way to do it than against a really good team in Boston.
I know you're not sitting in here after the first, not saying let's have a good second, but it's been a little bit consistent here. So where's it at with these second periods?
Yeah, that's a good question. Obviously, we got to figure it out. It's an important period. All three are. And we've struggled for some reason in the second periods. With that being said, I think we've also been a really good third period team, which is a great sign as well. So, got to find, like I said, got to find our game there in the second period, whether that's just simplifying a little bit, changing the ozone, stuff like that, things that just help build a game.
Would you rather be a good second period or third period team? Probably third period.
That's a good question. I guess third. But you need all three to be a good team, so that's what we're striving for.
What do you make of just this homestand and how well you played at home, and maybe the great timing of continuing to kind of push forward in the standings with considering where you are and how well it's gone at Rogers Place?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a weird stretch, just with coming back from the break, three road games, quick pit stop, and then back on the road for three more. So it feels like we haven't really been home much. So looking forward to a good homestand here. And like you said, 5 big games against really good teams, and obviously we love playing here in front of our fans, and looking forward to the next couple games.
Does Bouchard still, you've played with him his whole career, obviously, does he still wow you with that shot, though? Just the variety of slap shot, wrister, how he can place it?
Yeah, I think he should shoot it more. I think he's got more chances to shoot it. He shoots it so well. We tell him when he gets a chance to shoot it, he should pull the trigger. I mean, nobody shoots it quite like he does. So, with that being said, he's also such a smart player, and you can see his playmaking ability too. So, and he uses it as kind of a deception every now and then to make another great play. So, obviously, he's a really smart player, but shoots the puck like no one I've seen before.
All right, that was Captain Connor McDavid joking there. Yeah, rather be a better third period team. They have been that. Second periods, what the heck's going on? They need to clean that up. We'll see if they can do it tonight. They're going to need as close to a 60-minute effort against the Bruins team that wants to play better as well. Just the one win in their last 5 games. That came in their last game Monday against Dallas in a shootout 4-3. Of course, the Oilers beating the Stars over the weekend in overtime, and Edmonton going into Arizona on Monday as well, picking up a win after a bad second period. Straight up, bad second period. But we'll see if the Oilers can put together a solid performance throughout the game at home, first, second, and third. They've won 8 in a row on home ice and looking to make it 9, and they're in for a doozy against a tough Boston Bruins club looking to get back off the schneid, riding the momentum from winning the one game against the Dallas Stars to wrap up a homestand. The Bruins begin a 4-game Pacific Division road trip, and then they'll be in Calgary, Vancouver, and Seattle after Edmonton. And the Oilers kicking off a 5-game homestand. They get the Bruins tonight, the Wild on Friday. Saturday night, it is the Calgary Flames, Battle of Alberta, Heritage Classic jerseys being worn for the last time by both teams. And then they get LA and St. Louis to wrap up the month and the 5-game homestand. The question of the night was this, 218-9999 if you want to answer, and then nasty chat as well. The question of the night being, how do you think the Oilers are going to do on this 5-game homestand? Zach DeCum, what do you think, pal? I think that they go 3-1-1. What do you think?
I think the Oilers could be able to get maybe 4 of the wins if they play really, really well.
Ooh, optimistic.
3 would be pretty good. I mean, looking at it here in the game tonight, Boston, they haven't really been playing too well. They're 2-3-2 since the All-Star break, but, you know, as everyone has been saying, and Ben, like, they are dogs. Like, they're really good. They did lose a lot of pieces, but tonight is going to be a difficult task for the Oilers. But looking ahead, I think up against the Wild, the Wild have been pretty good recently, but I think they could take 3 or 4 games. The Oilers could walk out with a winning record.
It's doable, pal.
Is doable.
We'll see if they can start it off on the right foot tonight. Keep that winning streak alive on home ice. It's at 8 in a row, and we'll see if they can make it 9 against the Boston Bruins. It is the Oil Stream pregame show live on location, Hudsons, Bourbon Street. They're doing their Hot AF Wing Challenge right now, and they're just getting ready for the next round. I don't know how these competitors do it. About 12 or 13 guys and one lady. She seemed to do just fine in the first round, and we'll see how it goes. I'll update people at the end of the night if people are actually curious. I've seen some people talking about hot wings. I can't do it myself. I'm not good at handling them. I also have GCs to give away. I've got some $10 GCs to give away from the fine folks here at Hudson. Steve, the manager, drops some off. I got some $10 ones. I've got some $20 ones. So come on down, and if you're not doing anything for the game, you want to watch, I will hook you up. I'll buy you a beer. Maybe I'll even give you the $20 GC. And I also have, Steve gave me these free order of wings as well. So come on down, Hudson's, Bourbon Street, and they also have 6 o'clocker lager in the cans. Good to go, and we appreciate them doing that as we begin this partnership here on the Oil Stream pre- and post-game show with the fine folks at Hudson's, Canada's Pub. All right, we're going to go into the Oilers locker room one last time, and then we're going to switch focus over to the Bruins. Zach DeCum, let's get to Oilers blue liner Evan Bouchard.
You guys either deflect or say you don't know them, so I won't give you any numbers.
Perfect.
But you are having one of the best offensive seasons that an Oilers defenseman has had since the late 80s. How do you sort of comprehend that and the keys to you putting that together?
Yeah, it's obviously good to hear. Kind of goes back to team success, kind of reflects on individual success. When the team's doing good, individuals usually do good, and that's kind of what's happening right now.
I mean, you continue to produce with your shot as well. I mean, you continue to just work on that or think about ways to beat goalies. I mean, Ottinger, I think, is one over each goal.
Yeah, I guess it kind of depends on the play. Every play is different. Whenever you have a screen, whether it's shooting the other way the goalie's looking, but we're doing a good job the past couple weeks getting to the net. I think that helps a lot.
You guys went from a month plus of just nothing but winning to kind of win-loss, pieced a couple together now. How important is it to maybe just find that even keel of winning more than you lose, obviously, but high-quality play most nights?
Yeah, we got to find a way to keep rolling. We can't really, go win-loss. We want to put together, streaks of games where you have, a lot more good games than bad games. And I think as long as we can do that, we'll be just fine.
You guys are 2 away from setting the Oilers franchise record for consecutive home wins. What is it about this crowd that gets you guys on your A game?
Yeah, the crowd's awesome. Every game, whether it's a Monday, Saturday, afternoon game or not, there's always they're always showing up, getting us going, and it helps big time.
And I'm sure you're tired of hearing about setting franchise records, but another one in the sights here. What's it like to be on a team that's making so much history for this team?
Yeah, it's great to be a part of a team that makes history. Obviously, feels good. It's something that you're gonna remember for a while, and we're just looking to keep that going.
That line of go ahead. 5 games in 8 days here as an athlete. Do you approach this stretch differently in terms of maybe getting more rest or doing anything differently, or?
Yeah, you kind of got to pick and choose your spots. You always got to take care of your body. 5 games in 8 days is a lot, so you really got to make sure you're getting well rested, managing yourself on and off the ice.
After a little bit of a shakeup of the lines, Evan, that line of McLeod, Draisaitl, and Kane really hit it off immediately. If you were defending them, not saying that you have to, but if you were, what kind of challenges would they present for you?
They kind of got a little bit of everything. They got speed, they got poise, they got size. It's it's a tough line to defend. I'm excited to see where it goes.
All right, that was Oilers defenseman Evan Bouchard having a tremendous season. Does not want to crunch the numbers. Just let him go out there and play. A big game for him, certainly against Dallas. And then the team followed it up with a nice, well, not really a nice win in Arizona. A little dicey in the second period, but a solid third period helped them get the win. All right, we are live on location at Hudsons, Bourbon Street. Round 2 of the Hot AF Wing Challenge about to get going. These competitors, man, good luck to them. I am still smelling these wings, and they're coming out right now, and they are super, super spicy. I do have GCs to give away. If you come on down, just say hi to me, and I will hook you up. Say, I want a GC, and I said, I'll hook you up for sure. No problem. Absolutely. Okay, let's go inside the Bruins locker room. Zach DeCombe, who do we want to hear from first?
Well, I'm not wearing a Bruins hat tonight, but with his interview today, here is head coach Jim Montgomery.
Forward group's the same. Spoon and Lowry will be in tonight on defense.
Hampus make the trip?
Hampus is not on the trip, and he's week to week. Will not play on the 4 games on this trip.
And is surgery in his?
No.
No? Okay. So it's week to week.
Not even an option.
It seemed like a pretty innocuous play. It wasn't like he got drilled into the boards. Is that the way injuries happen?
Sometimes, if your toe your skate or some part of your skate gets caught in a rut in the ice, it can,
Thoughts on this Oiler group? Since the break, maybe not quite as hot as they were before, but just the challenge they present, and on home ice they've been real good.
I mean, they're dynamic, they're fast, they're playing great offense and great defense, they're getting good goaltending. I mean, they're an elite team like everybody expected at the beginning of the year.
How needed was this road trip after being at home for 2 weeks?
I think boys were excited. There was a lot of jump for a morning skate, most I've seen in a while, so I think guys are excited to be on the road together.
Same 12 forwards, you moving them around a little?
I think it's the same lines that I basically finished the game with.
It's Heinen up top?
Heinen's up top, yeah. And I put Frederick with Boakfist and Brazo to start the second period last game. Didn't catch that one, eh? I juggle my lines so much you guys can't catch them all.
Jim, your penalty kill hasn't been real good. It's been good, but it hasn't been real good. Obviously, you're playing the Oilers. That's not a recipe.
Stay out of the box.
Change, eh? Yeah.
And if we do take a penalty, we're going to pray. Yeah. All right?
Is there something you're seeing? They always say, the sticks aren't in the way of stopping the passes.
Well, I don't think our 4 guys have, for a penalty kill to be elite, you got to work together. The sticks got to be right, but one guy goes, you all go, or that one guy doesn't go, you all got to hold your ground.
A little bit of baking time for Mason down in the American League since the last time. So how does that adjust your expectation of what he should provide this time around?
Oh, I mean, both times he's come up and played for us, he's been really good coming up from Providence. So our expectations is we know what he is. He's a good hockey player. He's someone that has helped us win a lot of hockey games this year, and we expect him to do that tonight.
You came out of that homestand having to wring more out of the top 6, yes?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking strictly production, yes.
And Jake was getting points, but until recently, is there something that's dropped off in his game?
No, his line, a couple of games, they had so many chances. I think Jake, Poston, Pav, the one game had 9, 8, and 8 scoring chances. So they've been getting their chances, just the puck hasn't gone in for them. They're in the right spot.
All right, that was Boston Bruins head coach Jim Montgomery having fun there, throwing people for a loop with his lineups and the lines he had at the morning skate today at the DCA. They were practicing at the DCA today because hockey hooky was happening. It was the Oil Kings and the Hitmen. The Oil Kings wearing those really, really nice third jerseys that they have, the blue and the gold. I really appreciate those. Rogan Dean, equipment manager for the Oil Kings, fabulous job as always, making sure that team looks great on and off the ice. Okay, we do have some more audio and video to get to. I did want to mention one thing, a lineup note. We said we were anticipating Ullmark getting the start. That is not the case. It will be Jeremy Swayman in goal for the Bruins tonight. He did lead them out onto the ice for warm-up. Swayman this season, the 25-year-old, a 17-6-7 record, 239 goals against average, 922 save percentage, 3 shutouts, having an excellent season in 31 games played. He and Ullmark have made for an excellent tandem, obviously. A historic season last year for those two and the Bruins in the regular season, and then we know what happened to them against Florida in the postseason. Swayman versus the Oilers. He has faced them twice in his career. A 1-1 record, 254 goals against average, 891 save percentage in those 2 appearances. And then at the other end of the rink, Stuart Skinner getting the nod for the Oil. Skinner having a good season, and you heard Ben Scrivens earlier in the show talking about the balancing act with him and Calvin Pickard. Skinner, though, 25-12-1 this year, 257 GAA, 906 save percentage, 2 shutouts, 39 games played. And all-time versus Boston, Skinner, a 1-2 record, 270 goals against average, 907 save percentage in 3 appearances versus the Bees. All right, we're going to go back inside the Bruins locker room. We're going to go a little bit later. We did get to the show late, and puck drop isn't until 8:22 anyway, so we're going to kind of drag this out a little bit longer for you. If you're listening, get in on the text line, 780-218-9999, and then if you're watching, we're live on location at Hudsons, Bourbon Street. They do have 6 o'clocker lager available in can form, and I do have a bunch of GCs to give away as the Hot Wing Challenge continues. Oh, boy. That guy looks like he's in pain. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Let's get to the son of Louis DeBrusk, Jake DeBrusk.
Does it change it all over the years, or it's always kind of a special place to come back to?
I think it's always a special place to come back. I mean, obviously it's, I don't get to see my family more, so, my mom and dad come down, a little bit, or obviously when my dad's working, but I don't get to see the rest of my family, my friends and stuff like that for, 90% of the year. So it always is special to me, try to fit everything in. I've tried different ways of, not seeing people and all that, but I think, I think you don't really reflect on your careers as it goes along, but I think these are special games for me. Obviously, they haven't really gone personally in my favor, but I still have lots of fun. It's always nice to see familiar faces.
Jake, your coach says you're getting lots of chances personally, but the puck's not going in. Are you seeing that yourself?
Yeah, I don't know what I did to the hockey gods, but they are not on my side right now. It's been a tough year, honestly, for that side. But I think one of the things that you get told is be worried when you don't get chances. So it's about the finishing, and usually I can finish. It just doesn't seem to be cooperating, and it's one of those things where obviously that's what I'm here to do, is produce, and I think I've done a really good job this year finding different ways to help the team. In terms of matchups and different things, defensive side of the game, which isn't really fun for a guy who always wants to score. But at the same time, I think I've became a more complete player this year, and still learning obviously and growing. But I think that my game's actually been in a pretty decent spot. But if you look at the stats, it's obviously something that wears on you a little bit. But I've gone through this enough where I know it's going to turn around, and the next you get 6 goals in 8 games or something. So I'm just waiting for that. Hopefully it starts tonight.
What do you miss most on the ice, not having Bergeron?
Not being as defensive. I think that he covered a lot of ground in the D zone. Obviously was probably the best two-way player to ever play, at least from my eyes. And it was one of those things where he just put out a lot of fires. We play kind of his own style that we played for years here. And if you get one layer broken down, there's a second layer there. He's usually the second layer, and it was hard to get through him. So that's probably the biggest thing I miss is just having that knowledge that if you get beat, he's going to pretty much win it every single time, and face-offs too. He was amazing.
Say on the power play, you would be in the bumper position, or you work great with Marchand, and then on the penalty kill, you win the face-off. So both special teams.
Oh, totally.
Very integral part.
Yeah, very, right, and obviously was producing at the same clip too. So that pretty much, if there's any player you want to show your little ones to grow up like, it's probably him. I would be honest with you.
Talk about that defensive side of your game. Is it a good test
against the Oilers because they have the offensive players to maybe lean on that part of your game a little bit? You know that everyone's going to have to a little bit more.
Yeah, I think we do as a group, obviously. Like you said, they're very offensively potent and got some amazing players. So you got to be aware when they're on the ice, and you try to limit them as much as you can. You can't really stop them, but at the same time, you got to do it as a group of 5. You can't really follow them around, or even Leon. There's different ways that they can kind of beat you even if you do that. So you got to do it as a 5-man group, and try to make it so that they're playing in the defensive zone as much as possible, and limiting turnovers. It's just got to simplify, honestly.
There's a lot of talk with the organization about the standard that sets, that culture. Maybe what you guys lean on when things aren't going well. What do you notice about what your group can lean on when things aren't going well? It's culture related to help you.
Yeah, I think it just goes to kind of, I've been lucky. I've been here for 7 years now, and had some really great leaders over the years. And, I think the biggest thing that you can kind of just take from that, obviously there's times where it's ups and downs in the season. I know they're struggling at the beginning of the year, and then you kind of go through waves and flows of a season. But you try to just stay consistent every day with your preparation, your approach, and have the belief. You got to believe in the room that you have the horses to run, and sometimes the results don't come. This game is cruel; it can humble you pretty quickly. But at the same time, everyone's here for a reason, and I think the biggest morals that we have here is just our standard. Everyone talks about leadership and quality and standards. It's more cliches, but when you're inside the room, it's more so about the consistency of whether things are going well or things aren't. We try to keep the same intensity in practice, same intensity, just doing different things. So, I think that's what's been a huge reason why the Bruins have been successful, and we've just been kind of going on a little bit of a stride and getting us tested in a little bit of the sense in the homestand, and it was nice to get the win last game, and now we're looking forward to this one tonight.
So Jake, last year everything worked right in the regular season. This year you're still a good team, but you're going to get 120 points. So what's the difference? Did everything just go right last year, or is this year more the way it is because it's such parity in the league?
I think the league is obviously tighter. I think that if you look at the standings in the Eastern Conference, Western Conference, everything's pretty tight right now, and especially for teams that are fighting to get in. And I think that, and obviously we lost a lot of guys. I think we lost around 8 different players in different roles, and obviously we brought in guys that have done a great job, and pretty much main reason why we've been doing really well. So it's been, obviously a lot of changes. When you don't have that consistency and things of that nature, and you're learning chemistries with guys in different positions. There's sometimes trial and error, but we've done a good job of kind of weathering some storms that have come our way, and I think that's why we are where we are.
There you go. There's Jake DeBrusk, well-spoken as always, a sharp young man, and I remember the days when Louis used to bring him to the rink, and he was just 10, 11 years old and watching the Oilers, and now he's playing against them. He's been doing it for 7 years, like he said there, and would certainly like to get on the board against his hometown team tonight. And then the fans of the Oilers would not like that, and they would appreciate that he does not do anything offensively and maybe waits till they go to Calgary. I understand. I get it. 780-218-9999. You can text us. We'll go a little bit longer here. We're live on location. Hudsons, Bourbon Street, myself, and Zach to come holding things down right now. Zach to come back at EST Global HQ. Matthew Iwanek here. We've got Lieutenant Eric on location, as well as Fergie's Prostate has stopped by, and Renee and Trev Savage are here. So come on by. I've got a bunch of GCs to give away. I've got some free wings to give away. Just come see me and say hello. 6 o'clocker lager in can form available. And we've got the hot wing challenge. Round 2 looked painful. There was some nasty, nasty looks and grimaces on the faces of the competitors. Oilers and Bruins. We'll see if Edmonton can make it 9 wins in a row at home, which has been kind to them, but they haven't been here in a while. Obviously, they played the one game against Detroit last week, but as some of the staff were saying, it felt like they were on a 7-game road trip, not a quick break at home, and that's kind of the case. Your goalies for tonight: Stuart Skinner for the Oil, Jeremy Swayman for the Bruins. No Lindholm as well. Hampus Lindholm on the shelf. He's a little bit nicked up for the Bruins. For the Oilers, this is what we're anticipating. I haven't seen anything. I'm pretty sure, Zach, to come, have you seen it? Right, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, did we get a confirmation that he's out for tonight?
I haven't seen anything, no. I have not.
I'm looking right now. So I'm just trying to get an update on that. Text us via the nasty chat if you have an update, and I'll just pass it along to our listeners and our viewers. And I did mention that the Oil Kings had hockey hooky today. They did win the game 5-4 against the Calgary Hitmen. Great to see. And I wanted to get to this text that I saw earlier, but a bunch of nasty chat was going on. It was from Dr. Nutsy Dielson. Says, mistakes will be made, but they need to get better at managing momentum swings. Western Conference final against the Avs and Vegas series last year had big games decided in 5-minute breakdowns. That's a good point, Dr. Nutsy Dielson. I like how you're a doctor now. Well done. Well played. People have created a Discord. Was that Joel that started a Discord? Did you see that, Zach, to come?
I did, yeah. I think a couple
Okay.
people were in the works to try and put that together, and it seems like there's one put together now.
Okay, I don't know how those work, but I saw a Dusty gave it his blessing. That's great. So that's cool. We have one of those now, right? Nugent Hopkins will not play. He was not on the ice for warm-up. I just wanted to get that in there. So if you're driving or you're listening and didn't get an update, no Ryan Nugent Hopkins. So the lineup for the Oilers looks like this for tonight. McDavid between Fogle and Hyman, Draisaitl with Kane and McLeod on his wings, Holloway centering Janmark and Perry, Derek Ryan between Sam Gagner and Connor Brown on defense, Nurse Ceci, Ekholm with Bouchard, Kulak with Desharnais, and Nugent Hopkins' illness is out of action. As for the Bruins, Pavel Zacha with Jake DeBrusk and David Pasternak, Charlie Coyle with Brad Marchand and Danton Heinen, Morgan Geekie centering James Van Riemsdyk and Anthony Richard, and then Jesper Boqvist with Trent Frederick and Justin Brazeau. Matt Grzelcyk with Charlie McAvoy. Mason Lohrei with Brandon Carlo. Derek Forbert paired up with Parker Witherspoon. No Matthew Poitras. And no Hampus Lindholm for the Bruins. Skinner in goal for Edmonton. Swayman for the Bruins. All right, a couple of stats to throw your way. Then I'll get to some texts, and we will say good night for the rest of the pregame show. This is Bruins kicking off a 4-game Pacific Division road trip. They go to Calgary, Vancouver, and Seattle after this. Edmonton, 17-6-1 at home. Bruins, 15-5-6 on the road this year. The Oilers all-time at home versus Boston in the regular season, 15-20-3 with 3 ties. Edmonton has dropped the last 3 home games to Boston. 0-2-1 is their record. And then all-time, Edmonton 27-46-4 with 6 ties against the Boston Bruins. The Oilers versus the Atlantic Division, a 5-4 mark, while the Bruins carry with them a 5-2-3 record versus the Pacific. If you're wondering how the Oilers specialty teams are doing, well, the power play got bumped up to 4th in the NHL at 26.8%, 42 for 157. The PK has dropped to 16th. It was as high as 8th coming out of the break. It's now at 79.4% with 6 shorthanded goal scorers, 16th overall, middle of the pack in the NHL. The Bruins, meanwhile, 41 for 175 on the power play. That's a 23.4% clip, 9th in the NHL. And the PK sitting 11th at 81.4%. The Bruins chipping in with 5 shorties on the year. Let's get to some text. Tube Socks says, how do I think they will do on this 5-game homestand? I think they will do well. Rip City Step giving Zach to come some props. Donnie M also praising Ben Scrivens, who is our analyst tonight, filling in for Matty Cassian. And let's see what Nasty Chat's doing. What are you guys doing over there? You guys are talking about the Discord. Okay, I'm going to have to learn about this. Old man over here, Zach to come. I'm an old man. Duck Dad says a hot power play is needed for this stretch of games. Let's go, Oil. All right, I'm going to learn about this Discord that Joel has created for EST and that has the blessing of Dusty Nielsen. Come on down if you're not doing anything. Great crowd here on location. Hudsons, Bourbon Street. I've got some GCs to give away. I've got some free wings to give away. You don't have to take part in the Hot Wing Challenge. Looks like they're wrapping up. I have no idea who won. God bless whoever did win that because those things looked nasty and they smelt even hotter. Unbelievable. Big thank you to Derek Van Diest from NHL.com for stopping by, providing us with game changers. Ben Scrivens did a great job as well. Thank you to everyone who tuned in, texted. If you come by to West Edmonton Mall, come see us at the Hudsons on Bourbon Street. I've got some GCs to give you, and they do have 6 o'clocker lager can form that you could buy, and you can say hi to some of us from EST. That's going to do it for the Oil Stream pregame show. A big thank you to Ben Scrivens once again, and for Zach to come, I'm Tom Gazzola saying ciao for now. Enjoy the Oilers and the Bruins.